How you doing there? Welcome back to Babylon Talmud. Today we're studying Daf Ayin Ches, Daf 78 of Masechta BavaKama. Friends, friends. We're going to talk a bit about Kilayim and stuff today, and then, honestly, I'm only recording half of it now. I'll probably have to record half of it another time. This whole week has been so weird. I've been doing a half a page here, a half a page there. It's kind of crazy, but hopefully we'll get back on track. Alright, okay, Ein Zayin Amud Beis, we're going to start 2 lines before it gets wide. After the word kasha. It says, Kilayim sexiv. So, how could it be that that we're saying that there's Kilayim in the context of Daled V'Hei? So it says in the context of Daled V'Hei. Wait, what am I don't know what I just said. I don't know. I just paused it for a second and I don't know what I was talking about. So Kilayim, sexy, right? How could it be that we're talking about Kilayim when it comes to Daled V'Hei if after all it says the word se? V'amar Rav, and Rav says Zebana of. I don't know exactly what Rav is talking about. That whenever it says se, it's coming to exclude Kilayim. So how could it be that we're saying that there could be that Kilayim is shaykh to Daled V'Hei if it says shor o se, and when Rava seems to say that whenever it says se, it's to exclude a mixture. I guess maybe of a mixture of a goat and a sheep. What's the mixture of a goat and a sheep? A goat and a sheep is called I don't know. What should we call a goat and a sheep? A goat and a sheep? What should a goat and a sheep be called? A goat and a sheep should be called I don't know. What should a goat and a sheep be called? A goat and a sheep. A goat and a sheep. A goat and a sheep. A goat and a sheep should be called a wool beard. A goat and a sheep should be called a wool beard. Let's go weiter. So, that whenever it says se, it's to exclusion of kilayim. So how could it be then that there could be kilayim by Daled V'Hei if it says se? Shiny acha, I'll tell you why there could be kilayim, because it's different over here. The Amar Kra o, the Rabbah says kilayim. Then when it says o, it says shor o se. The o is coming to include kilayim. The kilayim is shaykh to Daled V'Hei. V'chol o l'rabosu, ho. But what? Just because it says o, that's coming to include kilayim v'atanya. But we learn in a brayso shor o kesev prat l'kilayim ho. That when it says so by korbanos it says shor o kesev, an ox or a sheep, prat l'kilayim, to the exclusion of kilayim. So even though it says o is coming to exclude kilayim, not to include it. O a's, and when it says shor o kesev o a's, prat l'nidme, to the exclusion of a nidme. The article calls nidme a mutant. I like it, a mutant. Okay, what's a mutant? A mutant is if you have a sheep that has a baby with a sheepa. That a sheepa is a female sheep. Dennis, don't look that up, all right? So if a sheep and a sheepa have a baby, and that's called a lamb. I think that part's correct. What were we talking about? But the thing is that lamb partially looks like a goat. Can you imagine? Sheep and sheepa have a baby, and the baby looks like a goat. That's what's called a nidme, a mutant. So it's technically a sheep. There's nothing wrong with it, but it looks like a goat. You can't bring that as a korban. Okay? So again, it says shor o kesef prat l'kilayim, o a's prat l'nidme. So we see that o is excluding kilayim. So Amarava says Rava acha me'inyani dikra v'acha me'inyani dikra. Well, everything is contextual. Okay, everything's contextual. All right, contextual. So I was watching the whole situation over there in the Netherlands. The lawyers representing Eretz Yisrael, I thought, were very, very, very good. So anyway, so over there they were talking about context and how that's important. I thought the lawyers for Eretz Yisrael made a very I thought they were great. I thought they were masterful. That's how I thought about it. I guess we'll see what the judges think. I thought they did an excellent job. Anyways, but I'm granted I don't know anything about law or whatever, but just watching it, I really thought that they did an excellent job. So Amar Rav Acha Minyan Dikra V'Acha Minyan Dikra. So it's contextual. Hacha Gabi Gneva. So when it comes to Gneva, so Dalad Vehei Dichsev Shor Oseh. So it says Shor Oseh. Now, an ox and a sheep apparently is not a kind of union that bears fruit. It's not in ve'agefen vin ve'agefen. It's not that. Apparently, an ox and a sheep cannot make a what should we call an ox and a sheep? What's an ox and a sheep? An ox and a sheep? I don't know. Let's go weiter. So since Shor Oseh is something that you can't create a baby from, so when it says it's actually going to include kilayim, right? Because since by default Shor V'Seh would be something that excludes kilayim, so by default it's excluded because Shor and Seh is not a kilayim kind of thing. So is going to include kilayim, right? So where am I? So Shor Seh you can't create a baby from an ox and a sheep. L'rabos kilayim. So since by default kilayim would be excluded, so the word is coming to actually say no, it's included. Gabe kodshim, but now in the context of kodshim, by shor o kesev o'ez, dichsiv kesev va'ez, so it says shor o kesev o'ez, so kesev o'ez, a sheep and a goat, shata yachol otzi kilayim mibeneim, that are capable of making a baby. So therefore by default kesev and o'ez can make kilayim, so it would include kilayim. So when it says in that context, it's to exclude lemaitu, it's to exclude kilayim. V'agabi kodshim nami nemar shor o kesev But one second. By kodshim as well, right, it says there's three things. It says shor o kesev oez. So we said kesev oez, you can make a baby. But it also says shor o kesev, an ox and a sheep, which we said cannot make a baby. So why don't I say that by default, we look at ox and sheep where you cannot make a baby, so there's no kilayim, so O should come to include kilayim over there. So v'hagabi kodshim nami nema shor o kesev, it says shor o kesev she'enat yochlo tzii kilayim ibneim, that cannot produce a baby. V'narbe, so we should include kilayim. So mi the sefer l'mayit reish nami l'mayit. Well, since it says kesev o'ez, which by default can make a baby, so then O is coming to exclude it and say kilayim is excluded. But adraba, punkt fakert. Mi the reish l'rabus, sefer nami l'rabus. I'll say punkt fakert, that, well, since shor and kesev cannot make a baby, so therefore by default there is no kilayim, O is coming to include kilayim, so let's say that right there we're talking including kilayim. So, hi mai, we say nisht. I omad bishlam in the mayitu. So I understand if we're saying that O is coming to exclude, so the itzrich trei miute, that's why I need two miuts to exclude both a nidme as well as to exclude a kilayim as well as a nidme. The imit kilayim, that even if we exclude kilayim from being able to be offered as a korban, it's lemute nidme, I still need to exclude nidme, because I might think, okay, fine, so kilayim, a goat and a sheep mixture, I cannot offer as a korban, but a nidme, which is a mutant, but at the end of the day, it is a sheep, and both of its parents are sheep. So therefore, I would think maybe a nidme can be offered as a korban. Therefore, I need both miuts to say not only are we excluding a kilayim, but we're oichet excluding a nidme. Eloi omet l'rabis. But if we say O is coming to include trei ribuye lamali, why do I need two ribuyes? Hashte kilayim irbei. If we're saying that I can even offer a kilayim as a korban. Where am I? If I can offer a kilayim a product of a sheep and a goat as a korban, certainly I can offer the product of a sheep and a sheepa, even if it looks like a goat. Who cares? At the end of the day, it's a sheep. So therefore, it must be that O is coming to exclude kilayim when it comes to korbanis. That you cannot offer a mixture animal as a korban. So then, when Rava says that whenever it says se, it's coming to exclude kilayim. So in what context? So why does Rava need to teach us this, and what's it coming to teach us? If it's teaching that by kodshim you can't offer kilayim. We learned out. It says shor kesef, that the O is coming to exclude kilayim. So we don't need Rava's teaching to teach us that. Ila meiser, and if it's talking about meiser behema, right, that you have to offer 1 out of every 10 animals as a korban, and so that would exclude that would not apply to kilayim. So tachas yolef mikochim, but it says tachas by meiser behema and oichet by kochim, and therefore we make the gzeirish of it. So just like by kochim it excludes kilayim, so oichet by meiser behema ili b'chor. And if we're talking about the korban b'chor, that does not apply to kilayim, havor yolef mi meiser. So it says. What are these psukim? V'avarta kol peter rechem l'Hashem. It says v'chol asher yaver. Right. So it says ha'avara both by bechor as well as by meiser behema. So just like by meiser behema, there's no kilayim because we learned it out from korbanos. So also by bechor, inami. Alternatively, I can give you a different reason for bechor. Nidme omait lo tichzev ach bechor shor. That I know that by bechor, if the firstborn child does not look right, if it looks like a goat, even though it comes from 2 sheep, so it would be excluded from bechor achehe hu shor v'choro shor, that both the parent and the bechor need to look like an ox, right? It has to look like the animal it's supposed to look like. So kilayim miboya, obvious. So if even a nidme is excluded from bechor, so then certainly kilayim is excluded. So elo ki itma deravelin in peter chomer. So rather, what's the scenario where we exclude kilayim? To the exclusion, so it's talking about peter chomer, right? That the pasuk says u'peter chomer tifte b'seh, that your firstborn donkey you have to redeem with the sheep. And we say we learn in the Mishnah in Podin that you cannot do pigeon peter chomer lo be'egel. You can't swap or you can't redeem the firstborn donkey with a calf. V'lo b'chai, now with a beast. V'lo b'shchuta, now with a slaughtered animal. V'lo b'treifa, now with a treifa animal. V'lo b'kilayim, and not with kilayim. You can't swap it with a product of a sheep and a goat. V'lo b'koi, and now with this animal that we're not sure if it's a behema or a chaya. Okay, so we say that when Rava is coming to exclude kilayim, it is from being able to be used to redeem a donkey. But what about Rabbi Lazar, who says that you're allowed to use? What about according to Rabbi Lazar, who says that you're allowed to use kilayim for pigeon peter chomer? So, Ditnan, as we learned in the Mishnah, Rabbi Lazar, matir b'kilayim. The Rabbi Lazar says that you're allowed to use kilayim for peter chomer, pnei shehu seh, because it's considered a seh. So then what's Rava coming to exclude from kilayim? So Omar Loch, Rabbi Lazar would say to you, ki itmar derove. So Rav would say to Kitma the Rava that when Rava says that kilayim is excluded, litame shenolad min hator, that if you have like a horse that is born to a cow, v'iburo min hatame, and the father was a horse. Interesting. Apparently, a horse sleeps with a cow and gives birth to a horse. So you can't eat it. You can't eat it. We're going to ask in a second if that's even possible. But okay. So you won't be able to eat that horse that was born to a cow. All right. So now, and so that kilaim is excluded from seh, right there, so that you can't. Okay, so you can't eat okay, you can't eat this baby. All right, fine. Udlak Rabbi Yoshua, it's like Rabbi Yoshua, the Rabbi Yoshua, misek ksavim v'sa'izim nafkale. Okay, he learns it out from, I guess, different words in the pasuk. Okay, fine. Achihei aviv keves v'imo kivsa, that the father, in order to eat the seh, you would have to have both parents be tahor. All right. But can a cow become, can a tahor animal become pregnant from a tummy animal? And yes, the kaimelon the iavim yikolot krov Shimon. Apparently, a cow can become pregnant from a camel. That the camel doesn't have completely split hooves. All right, fine. All right. But Rava asks, a fellow says, I'm going to bring a korban ola. Givaldi. Rif is shore and he sets aside a shore. Givaldi. That's amazing. Fellow says he can be a korban ola. He makes a neder. He says, I'm going to bring a korban ola. And he's going to bring it to the Beis Hamikdash. And he could have brought, a smaller. No. He's going to bring. Is that the Shabbos thing? All right. He's going to bring a cow. It's expensive, right? He's not going to bring a cow. He sets aside an ox. Uva'acher v'ganovo. And then, that was Reuven, Shimon comes and steals the ox. Mipoter ganef nafshe bekeves le'rabanan ba'olas of le'rabalazu ben Azariah. So the shaila is, right, so Reuven had said, I'm going to bring a korban ola, and then he sets aside a shore. Shimon comes and steals the shore. What is Shimon's obligation to repay Reuven? Does he have to give Reuven back the shore? Or can he just give back Reuven a korban ola? Something that can be offered as a korban ola. Okay, so mi poter nafshe, can Shimon absolve himself of his responsibility to pay back Reuven bekeves l'rabanan? According to the rabbis, would it be enough with a sheep? But l'rabbalazar ben Azariah, according to Rabbalazar ben Azariah, would a bird be enough? The Tananis, we learn in the Mishnah, Hari ole, if a fellow says, I'm going to bring a korban ole, Yavi keves. The Chachamim say, okay, so bring a sheep. Rabbalazar ben Azariah, Omer Yavi Tor o ben Yonah. Rabbalazar ben Azariah says you can even bring a bird. Right, a dove or a turtle dove. So, what do we say? So, mi'aminan shame ola kabali lave. Do we say, look, what Reuven accepted upon himself was to bring a korban ola, so just give him back something that can be offered as a korban ola. Or maybe Reuven can say, what is this? I want to do a mitzvah min hamuvcha. I want to do the mitzvah as great as possible. That's why I'm going to bring an ox. I don't just want to bring a sheep or a bird. So the pashto, after Rava asked the kasha, he then answered it. Ganif poter atzmo bekevis le'rabanan b'olasof le'blazu ben Azariah. He answered it and says he stole a korban ola. He just needs to return a korban ola, and it could be enough to give a sheep according to the rabbanan, or a bird according to B'elazu ben Azariah. V'achabed Rav Ika masnila behedra. V'achabed Rav Ika doesn't ask it as like he asked it and then answered it, but he says explicitly. On my Rave, says Rave, Hari Olai Ola. If Reuven says I'm going to bring a korban ola, v'hif is shore, and he sets aside a shore to bring his korban ola, uva'acher v'ganovo, and then Shimon steals it. Potter atzmo bekeves l'rabanon. Shimon just needs to return a sheep according to the rabbis, v'olasof, Rabbalazar ben Azariah, or or just a bird according to Rabbalazar ben Azariah. Says the Mishnah. Says the Mishnah. Machu chutz mi echad mi mer shebo. If givaldik. So Shimon stole an ox from Reuven and he sells it to Levi, but he retains a 1% stake in the ox. You get the joke? You get the joke? He sold the ox except for some steak. 1 second, I would have laughed harder, but I think my noise cancelling earphone was gonna fall out. Alright. Okay. Alright. So if he sells it except for, but he retains a 1% stake, what a joke. Osho Aisalo Bo shutfis. Wait, ba, testing, check. Hey, oh. There's some kind of echo. Oh, echo. What do you want me to tell you? Okay, Osha'isalo bo shutfis. Or, so he owned the, basically he was a part owner in the ox, and he stole it from a shutif, from his partner. Interesting. The headphones just died. Alright, because I haven't charged them in ages. I totally don't remember the last time I charged these things. Totally forgot about that. Right, charging is like a thing. But for the noise canceling part, does that require any like batteries? Like, you should probably charge these. I don't know. Well, guess we'll find out if people are making noise. Alright. Akoponim. So Shabo Shaisabo Lobo Shutfis, okay, he had a joint kind of thing, and he stole it from his shutif. Okay. Hashoichev v'nisnavla, and so I guess he stole it from his shutif and then sold it, I guess. Hashoichev v'nisnavla biyado, it's a fellow who So Shimon slaughters the Reuven's ox, but he does a bad job. It's not a kosher shchita. Anocher v'amaiker, if he does some kind of improper shchita. He shechts it vertically, not horizontally. V'amaiker, and he just rips out like the trachea and esophagus. Yuck. Mishalim tashlumei kefel. So in these cases, there's no dalavei. In these cases, there's no dalavei. But what does it mean that Shimon sells the ox to Levi but retains a 1% stake? Rav says, Rav, chutz midavra nitter imo b'shchita. Okay. That the 1% stake that he retains must be something that sort of, when you slaughter the animal, it's mutter to you. For example, meat, right? If you slaughter an ox, you can eat the meat, but the skin, right, the hide, for example, you're not going to eat the hide, right? So meaning things that the shechita makes it permitted, that's in the meat. Okay, so Rav says that the 1% stake that he retains must be the meat. The Levi Omer, says Levi, chutz migizosel, that even if he retained the wool, that would also be considered, not a full sale, since he's retaining part of the wool. And similarly, we learn in a brisa, the Hagos V'Tzunim adds Tani Levi b'masnisa, as we've seen in the past. Levi had his own sort of brises, collection of brises. So so Levi taught in, I guess, those brises. Chutz migizosel, that even if he retains the rights to the shearings of the sheep, so that would be considered like he did not do a complete sale. Meisve, we have a kasha. Machra chutz miyada. If Shimon sells the ox to Levi, but except for the foot, chutz mirat, well, except for its hand, chutz mirat, except for its leg, chutz mikarna, except for its horn, chutz migizosel, except for its shearings, for a wool, for a sheep. Enu mishalim tashlum BavaKama, so then there's no BavaKama. Rabbi Omer says, Rabbi, davar ma'akev b'shchita enu mishalim BavaKama, v'she'enu ma'akev b'shchita misham tashlum BavaKama. Meaning something like the heart, for example, right? The heart is something that if the heart went missing, so then even if you slaughter the animal after that, it won't be kosher because it was missing its heart, right? So, as opposed to like its foot, if it was missing its foot, okay, so what? It's still, you can still slaughter it and eat it. But if it's missing its heart, that's a different story. So Rebbe kind of takes it one step further than than Rav, right? Rav had said that like any meat would be considered a problem if he retained a right to it. Rebbe says no, it's not any meat. It's specifically meat, like organs, right? Meat that if it was missing from the animal, so then you wouldn't be able to slaughter and then eat the animal anymore. Reb Shimon ben Elazar, says Reb Shimon ben Elazar, chutz mikarna enu misham tashum arba v'chamisha. If he says I'm retaining the horns, so then there would be no daled v'hei chutz migizo seo. But if he says that I'm retaining the shearings, the wool, mishalim tashlumi arba v'chamisha, then there would be arba v'chamisha. Okay, fine. All right, where am I? Okay, so Bishlam Levi Kitana Kama. So I understand Levi who said that if you retain the rights to the shearings, so then it is not, there's no daled v'hei. So that's Be'etzim, right? The Tanakama had said that, right? That if what did the Tanakama say? The Tanakama said, Macha chutz miyado, chutz miraglo, chutz mikana, chutz migizosel. So Levi would be like the Tanakama. Rav, but according to Rav, who says that if he retains ownership of some of the meat, so then there's no daled v'hei, kiman, who does he hold like? Right? It's not like the Tanakama, because the Tanakama says even the wool. Rebbe says, well, it's not any meat. It's specifically meat that you would need to, like a heart, for example. According to Shimon ben Elazar, he says even the horn, then there would be no daled v'hei. So what's going on over here? So Amr, they say Rab da Omar ki hai Tana. Rav says like the following Tana is the Tana of Shimon ben Elazar. Omar says Reb Shimon ben Elazar. So interestingly, a different opinion of Reb Shimon ben Elazar. Machor chutz miyada v'chutz miragla eino mishalim tashlum arba v'chamisha. That if a fellow, right, if Shimon were to sell to Levi the ox, except for the foot or the leg, so then, except for the hand or the leg, so then there would be no daled v'hei, meaning basar, meat, just like Rav is saying. Now, chutz mikaino, chutz migizosel, mishalim tashlum arba v'chamisha. But if he sells the ox except for the wool or the horns, so then there would be daled v'hei. What is the machlokas? So Tanakama is sovar. Okay, so Tanakama who says whether it's the hand or the foot or the horns or the shearings, utvacho kulo ba'inon, umachro kulo ba'inon. That you have to slaughter or sell the entire animal, and if it's missing any part, whether it's meat, whether it's horns, whether it is whatever it may be, so then if it's missing in the sale, so then there would be no daled v'hei. V'Rebbe savar utvacho midi dehave betvicho. Whereas Rebbe who says that it has to be something significant, something that something that that is necessary to be part of the animal when you slaughter it, such as the heart. So tvacho midi dehave betvicho, something that needs to be part of the animal when you slaughter it. Lafuke midi de lo have betvicho. To the exclusion of a toe. If it's missing a toe, you can still slaughter it and eat it, so that would be considered insignificant. Okay. And then when it says so the mechira has to be similar to the tvicha, and therefore when it comes to the mechira, we're talking about it's only going to be considered an issue if you retain rights to something that's significant, like a heart. Reb Shimon ben Elazar savar. Reb Shimon ben Elazar holds karna delo lemigza kaima have a shear. A horn where you're not about to shear it off, right? The wool on the other hand, you're about to shear it off, but the horn you're going to leave it there. So therefore, if you retain the rights to, so it's considered part of the animal. If you retain the rights to it, so then it can be considered like you didn't properly sell the ox, and there would be no daled v'hei. There would be no daled v'hei gizosel. However, the shearings, the wool, the lemegiz kaime, that you're gonna shear them, you're gonna detach them from the animal. So then lo have a shear, then that would not be considered like you left anything over, because anyways you're going to be removing those. And there would be dalid vehei. Okay. Fine. V'idach taned ve Reb Shimon ben Elazar. And what about the other opinion of Reb Shimon ben Elazar, who has said that, right, like Rav, that dafka, the meat, whether it's the hand, whether it's the leg, that would be considered an issue, but the horns or the shearings would not be an issue. So Sover Yadav Viraglav the Tvicha have a shear. Well, the hand and the foot that you have to slaughter it in order to be able to eat it. So then that would be an issue. But the horns and the shearings, that you don't need to slaughter an animal, you don't need proper shechita in order, I guess, to get benefit from the horns or from the wool. So then lo aveshir, those things, if you retain the rights to those, it would not be considered like an incomplete sale. Kasha Reb Shimon ben Elazar, Reb Shimon ben Elazar. Oh, so now, as you may have been wondering, Reb Shimon ben Elazar seems to be saying two different things. He's talking out of both sides of his mouth, as I once heard somebody say. Yeah, I once heard Taka in a bungalow colony. Taka, I was in the bungalow colony. This was not, anyways, was not Shabbos afternoon, I think, whatever it was. A fellow at the bungalow colony, I think he said about the President of the United States at the time that he was talking out of both sides of his mouth. So the Reb Shimon ben Elazar. So the one in Reb Shimon ben Elazar's opinion is I don't know, what was his opinion again? I can't remember. Wait, am I losing my short-term memory again? The first Reb Shimon chutz mikarnea. So first he says, if you leave out the horn, it's a problem, but if you leave out the shearings, then it's not a problem. But then he says that the horn would also not be a problem. All right, or something. I can't even remember what he just said. What did he just say again? But Rav would say that you would still pay Abba Chamisha, right? Right, exactly. And Reb Shimon ben Elazar later on also says like that if that the horn you would pay Zal v'hei. So Tanaim Balibu Reb Shimon ben Elazar. Okay, fine. So you basically have two Tanaim who were quoting the opinion of Reb Shimon ben Elazar, and the two Tanaim quoted him differently. Okay. I guess one was right, one was probably wrong, I imagine. I hope that I'm not losing my short-term memory. What time is it? It's only 5:20 at night. Ugh. Oh, come on. I don't want to lose my short-term memory right now. Come on. Don't go anywhere, short-term memory. You stay right here. Shimon steals Reuven's ox, but it's missing a leg, or it's lame, somehow it's assumed, or it's blind. Similarly, somebody who steals a animal belonging to two partners, chayav is chayav, and he sells it, is chayav dalvev. Shutfim shegonvu pturim. Okay, and if you have partners who steal a ox, then they're pturim from dalvev. Ataniv shutfim shegonvu chayavin. We have a brayso that says that partners that steal and sell would be chayavim for dalvei. Rav Nachman lo kasha kam b'shutiv shegonav mechaver kam b'shutiv shegonav me'alma. So, well, it depends. If he's stealing it from his friend, so then there would be no dalvei. But if he's stealing it in general, and he has a partner, then there would be dalvei. Eis ve'rov Rav Nachman, but Rav asked kasha to Rav Nachman yochol shutiv shegonav mechaveru. Is it possible that a shutif who stole from a partner who stole from his fellow partner, v'shutfin shegonvu, and partners who stole, yehu chayavin would be chayavin Talmud Lomar Utvacho Kulo Be'inon Vileka. You need to be able to slaughter all of it, and that is not the case. Okay. Elamar of Nachman Lokasha Kam B'Shutav Shetavach L'das Chavero Kam B'Shutav Shetavach Shlo L'das Chavero. Wow, this is getting super technical. So says Rav Nachman, well, it depends. If he slaughters it with the knowledge of his partner, right? So then I guess he steals I guess that they steal together, and then he slaughters with the knowledge of his partner. So then he's like his partner's messenger, and then it's a kosher shechita. But if he doesn't know about it, so then he's not slaughtering the entire animal because he can only slaughter his part of the animal, and there would be no dalvei there. By Rabbi Yirmiyah asked the kasha macha chutz mishloshim yom. If Shimon sells to Levi, but he retains 30 days of usage of the animal. Chutz mimelachto, or if he sells it to Levi and he says, okay, Levi, I'm selling it to you so you slaughter it and eat it, but if you're going to use it for work, well then I get the work. Chutz mi ubra, or with the exception of its fetus, mau, right? Meaning Shimon says, I retain the rights to the fetus. So aliba demand amar uber yerechimo hu lo tibaylach. According to the opinion who says that a fetus is considered part of the body of the mother, well then it's part of the mother. So then the hashir, but he's leaving over part of the animal. It's not a complete sale. Ki tibaylach, the real kasha is aliba demand amar de uber lab yerechimo. If you say that a fetus is not considered part of the body of the mother, but separate, so do we say that came into mechuber pa have shir? Do we say, but look, even though it's not considered part of the body of the animal, but it is inside of the mother, so therefore if he says, I'm selling it to you except for the fetus, then it would not be a proper sale. Or perhaps came to the mifresh mina koi lo have shir, or since look, at the end of the day, the fetus is going to be born, is going to leave the mother, so therefore it would be not considered part of the mother, and you would be still be chayiv dalvei. It would be a proper sale. Yigidam to those who say came to lav yerech imo, who, since it is not considered part of the mother, lo aveshir, so it would not be considered an issue, right, for the sale. Or perhaps came to tzarich lishtaruye bahada b'shchita. Well, if you want to eat the fetus, you would have to slaughter it together with the mother. Command the shir b'gufadami, so it would be considered like it's part of the body. Teku. Ich weiß nicht. By Papa asked the kasha genava, if Shimon steals Reuven's ox, kata, and then he cuts off the leg, machra, and then sells it, mau, miyaminon, my deganav haluzam, do say, well, that which he stole, he didn't then sell to Levi, because he stole a complete cow, and he cut off the leg and sold that. Odilma madazavin haloshir. Or you can argue that yes, but that which he did sell, the animal minus the leg or whatever, he sold it entirely, right? He didn't retain anything, right? The sale was a complete sale. So Teku, we say, ich weiß nicht. If Shimon stole Reuven's ox, v'nosan la'acher, and then he gave it to somebody else, v'tovach, and that person slaughtered it. Ganav v'nosan la'acher, umachor. If he stole it and gave it to somebody else to sell for him, ganav v'hikdish, if he stole it and then was makdish it, ganav v'hikif, if he stole an ox and then, I believe if I'm not mistaken, he sold it to somebody else on credit. So I guess that they would, pay him back like later or something. Ganav v'hechlif, if he stole the ox and then bartered it for something else. Ganav v'nosan b'matana, or if he stole and gave it away as a gift. Ganav ufara chovo, if he stole an ox and used it to pay back a debt. Ganav ufara be'akefo, if he used the ox to pay back, I think maybe like some credit that he owed, maybe. Ganav v'shalach sivlonos b'beis chomiv, if he stole an ox and then sent it, like, he was engaged at the time, then he sent it to like his future father-in-law's house, like, I don't know, for like his future wife, or like he was like sending her stuff because they weren't like married yet, they were like engaged. Misham tashum BavaKama, in all of those cases, it would be considered like a mechira, and there would be dalad v'hei. Mike Mashma, what's it coming to teach us? Ashmain and Reisha. Well, what it's teaching us is that ganav v'nosan la'acher v'tovach. Well, we had said at the beginning of the brisa that if Shimon steals the ox and gives it to somebody else to slaughter for him, he would still be chayiv dal vei d'yesh shliach l'dvar aver. Because we would say specifically here that there is a shliach l'dvar aver, that there can be a shliach for the tvicha. Avagav de b'chol Torah kula ein shliach l'dvar aver. Even though in general, of course, we hold ein shliach l'dvar aver, right? You can't make a messenger to sin for you, right? Because if they sin, right? We say divrei Rav, divrei Talmud, divrei Mishomen. But when it comes to shchita, yesh shliach l'dvar aver, there is shliach l'dvar aver. My time outcome utvach umachar ma mechira d'lo efshir d'lo ayidei acher af tvicha ayidei acher mechayev. Right? As we learned the other day, right? We saw actually 3 reasons for how we know that that a shaliach, a messenger, right, they'd be chayiv dalvei even if it's ayidei shaliach, right? We said utvacho or mecharu, that just like mechira requires 2 people, right? As they said at the court case in The Hague the other day, you can't clap with one hand. That the applicant, whatever that they said in the applicant's submission, you would think that there was only one party to this whole mess. Al koponim. So just like by a sale you need 2 parties, so also by a So also by the tvicha, if you have a shaliach do it for you, then it would still be considered you'd be chayiv dal v'hei. We also learned some other things from some other ways. Vashminon seifa, and we're learning in the seifa gabi gana v'hiktish, that if he stole it and was makdish it, malimochu lehedjit, malimochu l'shamayim, that you can be chayiv dal v'hei, because what's the difference if I sell it to somebody else or if I makdish it to God? Either way, I'm like, forwarding it on, and I'll be chayiv dal v'hei. That was daf ayin ches, Masechta BavaKama. Hope you enjoyed. Peace out.